Alright, this is a video going out to Wong Yu. And basically Wong Yu and I have had a little bit of a back and forth about second wave feminism. And yes, you did hear me say feminism. As many of you know, I had my major issues with third wave feminism, mostly because of how I was treated by one. But when it comes to second wave feminism, part of what I view second wave feminism is somewhat of a reaction to the times. Second wave feminism, you had, during that time period, the 1960s to 1970s, you did have birth control coming in as a factor. Women quintessentially could stop ovulating and so they could have relatively the same sexual freedoms as men, as in not creating a human life out of it, potential out of a heterosexual sexual interaction. And while the culture didn't catch up with that, and while it's still catching up with those ideas of women's sexual freedom in that aspect, second wave feminism did push for a lot of reform when it came to equality laws, as in better treatment in the workplace, pregnancy leave or maternity leave, and more equality in the laws, as well as acknowledgement of spousal rape and rape in general, which I definitely think that those are really good things. And you have to admit that that second wave feminists were actually working in a society that was changing. There weren't as many jobs. We were starting to see the tipping point between the jobs and the workforce. Because around 60s, 70s time, that's when the baby boomers were coming of age. And there was lots of them. So jobs were getting hard to come by. Those better paying jobs were starting to get hard to come by. And that forced a lot of families to make the decision of, yeah, father will go to work, but mom's going to take a little job on the side. And it also created another tipping point of, hey, mom's actually got the better job here. How about dad staying home? And this started to create the paradigm that millennials and that millennial generation, Gen Ys, are working in today, of the couple deciding who's going to have a career and what is better for the couple, as far as who's going to be the main breadwinner and who's going to take care of the home and family. I don't really see what second wave feminism did in that aspect as ripping apart families or being anti-family. If anything, I think it created a better situation for the presets for a more egalitarian world, where it's left up to the couple to decide what they want of their family unit, whether they want to have kids or not, which partner will be the main breadwinner, or will they be equal breadwinners, and what the balance in their own relationship will be like, and for that to be decided as a couple. But I can definitely see how it can be argued that some of the things about second wave feminism kind of got the ball rolling toward what you see as a scary radicalization of third, in the idea of trying to turn a patriarchy into a matriarchy rather than an egalitarian system. I was a product of second wave feminism to some degree, given my mom's not a feminist. My family was a traditional nuclear family. My father went to work, was the main breadwinner, though my mom did work part-time as a career healthcare provider, let's put it that way. My mom works in the medical field. My older brother, and then there was me and the dog. Well, my brother, I, and the dog, as far as the little ones in our family unit. But I was raised with the idea that women can do whatever they want. Women can be whatever they want. And this was certainly at least a social idea that really got put into the public conscious after second wave feminism. But unfortunately, that's been pushed to an extreme with third wave feminism, in the fact that many within the third wave feminist movement are trying to dominate rather than creating a system which supports a stay-at-home dad just as much as a stay-at-home mom, which supports the court system to place children with the best family and to create a balance system where if mom's going to provide the stablest home, well then dad's going to pay a little extra. But if dad can provide the stablest home, then mom's going to pay the child support. And to create a balance where both partners can see their children, be there for their children, take care of their children equally. I had a coworker back up in Toledo where he was in a fight to be able to take care of his kids because, well, let's face it, his partner, who he wasn't actually married to, was trying to take away his kids because she was claiming that she was afraid that he was going to take away the kids. My coworker, a gentleman, was so dedicated to his kids that he wanted his kids to be able to see their mother, even though she wasn't actually in the best situation to take care of them. Ultimately, what needs to happen with the courts in that respect is that they need to do strictly who can take care of the kids the best, and then what kind of a balance are we going to create so that both partners can take care of their kids and support their kids to the best of both their abilities. Wong Yu notes constitutional amendments, which I don't actually see those as... a constitution is like dropping a nuclear bomb on something. Okay, I would take that nuclear bomb statement back, but a constitutional amendment is like the end-all be-all when it comes to the American system of laws. Yes, it's necessary in many aspects, like voting rights. When it comes to like voting rights, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, freedom from religion, and so forth and so on. States' rights. But adding more amendments is just going to bulk up the Constitution more. We don't even necessarily need that. I mean, if you look at Ohio's Constitution, it's more like the Napoleonic Code, where it's big. The Constitution in the United States is meant to be small. It's meant to be, you can carry it in your pocket. Because those laws can be then defined and looked at and worked. And it's left to the lower courts, like state legislatures, and acts and other things put in place by Congress and the President to subset those laws and to help us define them better. I think that's about all I can say. And at the very last part of Wong Yu's most recent communication, also I noticed at university a few years ago, many feminists are also socialists now. Which actually, I've known several feminists who are socialists. I personally believe that a well-regulated capitalist system is the best option we got. But socialism tends to get ripped on a lot, I noticed. But if you look at places like Finland, which is a socialist system, they have good education, good medical care, economy's in check, and overall their people are relatively happy. There's also relatively low crime rates. I think socialism gets quite a bad reputation, but I don't think that it's necessarily the right system for all countries. I don't think it would work in the United States. Beyond the stigma, the United States is just not the kind of nation that should be socialist. Just plain and simple. But those are my views on second wave feminism, and Wong Yu, I look forward to your reply. Peace out.